The scope definition meeting for Operation Skyhook would be a critical gathering where the project's parameters are set and agreed upon. This meeting would involve key members of the Rebel Alliance who are responsible for the planning and execution of the mission. The main goal would be to define precisely what the mission will entail, its boundaries, and what constitutes success or failure. Here's a breakdown of how this meeting might unfold. 1. Opening remarks, project manager or lead strategist. Welcome, everyone. This meeting is pivotal for Operation Skyhook. We are here to define the scope of our mission. It's crucial we all agree on what our mission entails to ensure we're focused and effective. 2. Presentation of the mission outline, intelligence officer or strategic planner. Based on the intelligence we have, our primary goal is to infiltrate the Imperial facility and obtain the Death Star plans. This includes gaining access to the facility, securing the plans, and safely extracting our team. 3. Discussion of mission boundaries, lead commando or tactical advisor. We need to discuss our limitations. This includes how far we are willing to go in terms of engagement with Imperial forces, acceptable collateral damage, and the extent of resources we are prepared to commit. 4. Clarification of success criteria, Senator Organa or Mon Mothma. It's essential we define what success looks like. Successfully retrieving the plans is our primary objective. We should also consider secondary objectives, such as gathering additional intelligence on Imperial operations. 5. Addressing potential scope creep, project manager. We must be vigilant against scope creep. Our resources and time are limited. Let's ensure we don't deviate from our primary objective or get entangled in unplanned activities. 6. Review of constraints and assumptions, logistics coordinator or analyst. We need to review our constraints, including time, resources, and personnel. Also, let's discuss our assumptions about the Imperial facility's defenses and our extraction plan. 7. Finalizing the scope document, all participants. The meeting would then focus on finalizing the scope document. This would involve going over the mission's objectives, boundaries, success criteria, constraints, and assumptions, ensuring that everyone is in agreement. 8. Sign off on scope document, Mon Mothma or Senator Organa. With everyone's input, we have a clear scope for Operation Skyhook. Let's sign off on this document as our commitment to stay within these defined parameters. 9. Closing remarks, project manager. Thank you for your contributions. This scope will guide every decision we make going forward. Let's proceed to our next phase with clarity and focus. Work breakdown structure, a WBS session. This meeting would be essential in ensuring that everyone involved in Operation Skyhook has a clear and unified understanding of what the mission entails, what is expected, and what limits are in place. By clearly defining the scope, the Rebel Alliance would set a solid foundation for the subsequent planning and execution phases of the mission. A work breakdown structure, WBS session. A work breakdown structure, WBS session, would be crucial for dividing the complex mission into manageable tasks and subtasks. Here's a fictional dialogue to illustrate how this session might unfold. Project manager opening the meeting. Welcome, team. Today's focus is on developing our work breakdown structure for Operation Skyhook. Our aim is to dissect the mission into smaller parts, making it easier to manage and execute. Let's begin by identifying the major components of our mission. Strategic planner identifying major components. Based on our mission objectives, I suggest we categorize the operation to 4 main components: infiltration, acquisition of plans, exfiltration, and contingency planning. Intelligence officer detailing infiltration. For the infiltration component, we need to break it down further. This includes gaining entry to the Imperial facility, bypassing security, and accessing the central data hub. We should assign teams for each of these subtasks. Tactical advisor discussing acquisition of plans. The acquisition of plans will require precise execution. We need to decrypt the data, physically obtain the plans, and prepare them for transmission or extraction. Each step here is critical and needs specialized skills. Commando leader, exfiltration breakdown. Exfiltration is about getting our team out safely with the plans. We should consider various escape routes, immediate response to pursuit, and rendezvous points for extraction. Risk manager on contingency planning. Our contingency planning should include fallback options in case of detection, emergency extraction procedures, and alternate communication plans in case of compromise. Logistics coordinator assigning resources. Let's assign resources for each subtask. We need to ensure we have the right equipment, personnel, and support for each phase of the mission. Project manager reviewing and assigning tasks. Great, let's review these components and subtasks. Goes through each item, assigning team leaders and members. Remember, each team is responsible for the planning and execution of their assigned tasks. Communications expert discussing reporting structure. As we progress, we need a clear reporting structure. Let's decide on how updates and progress will be communicated across teams. Project manager finalizing WBS TA. We've outlined our work breakdown structure effectively. This will be our roadmap for the mission. I'll circulate a detailed document for everyone's reference. Let's proceed with focus and precision. Closing remarks, Senator Organa or Mon Mothma. Your work today lays the foundation for a successful mission. Operation Skyhook is a testament to our unity and strength against the Empire. Let's move forward with courage and determination. This session would effectively break down the complex mission into actionable tasks, ensuring clarity and focus for each team member involved in Operation Skyhook. Risk planning meeting. In the risk planning meeting for Operation Skyhook, the Rebel team would gather to identify and strategize against potential risks associated with their critical mission. Here's a fictional dialogue to illustrate how this meeting might proceed. Risk manager, opening the meeting. Thank you all for joining. Today, we'll identify potential risks for Operation Skyhook and discuss mitigation strategies. It's vital we consider every possible scenario to ensure the success and safety of this mission. Intelligence officer, identifying risks. First, we need to consider the risk of Imperial detection during infiltration. The facility's surveillance and security systems are advanced and extensive. Tactical advisor, discussing impact. If detected, the mission could be compromised before we even access the plans. It would also put our entire team in immediate danger. Risk manager, mitigation strategy. We'll need robust counter-surveillance measures and a rapid response plan. This might include electronic jamming, decoy operations, and a quick exit strategy. Commando leader, identifying additional risks. Another major risk is encountering Darth Vader or other high-level Imperial forces. Their presence could dramatically increase the mission's difficulty. Strategic planner, discussing impact. Engagement with such forces could lead to heavy casualties and potentially jeopardize the mission's success. Risk manager, mitigation strategy. We'll maintain continuous monitoring for any signs of Vader's presence. Evacuation protocols will be in place, and we'll avoid direct engagement unless absolutely necessary. Logistics coordinator, identifying logistic risks. We also face the risk of supply chain disruptions. This could impact our access to necessary equipment and resources. Risk manager, discussing impact and mitigation. A disruption could delay the operation and weaken our operational capability. Let's establish alternative supply routes and stockpile critical supplies in advance. Communications expert, identifying communication risks. Compromised communication is another risk. If our channels are intercepted, it could expose the entire operation. Risk manager, mitigation strategy. We need encrypted communication channels with fallback options. Regular checks and counter-surveillance measures will be essential. Project manager, reviewing risks and strategies. Let's review and finalize our risk register. We need to ensure we've covered all bases, from infiltration to extraction, including contingency plans for each identified risk. Closing remarks, Mon Mothma or Senator Organa. Your thoroughness today brings us one step closer to ensuring the safety and success of Operation Skyhook. Remember, the risks we face are significant, but so is the importance of our mission. Let's proceed with caution and unwavering resolve. This dialogue encapsulates the critical nature of risk planning in high-stakes missions, highlighting the importance of anticipation, preparedness, and strategic thinking in the face of potential challenges. Budgeting meeting. In the budgeting meeting for Operation Skyhook, the Rebel Alliance's key members would gather to discuss and finalize the budget for the mission. Here's a fictionalized dialogue of how the meeting could unfold. Finance officer, opening the meeting. Welcome, everyone. Today, we need to finalize the budget for Operation Skyhook. Our resources are limited, and it's crucial we allocate them effectively to cover all aspects of the mission. Project manager, setting the stage. Let's start with the big picture. We need to cover expenses for reconnaissance, equipment, personnel, and unforeseen contingencies. It's vital that our budget reflects the mission's critical needs. Logistics coordinator, discussing equipment costs. For equipment, we'll need to budget for starfighters, ground vehicles, weapons, and surveillance tech. Additionally, we must consider maintenance and fuel costs. Intelligence officer, reconnaissance costs. Reconnaissance will require specialized equipment and possibly bribes for information. We need to allocate funds for intelligence gathering operations and ensure we have the latest data on the Imperial facility. Tactical advisor, personnel, and training expenses. We have to budget for the training of our personnel, including simulations and drills. Also, we should consider the cost of medical supplies and support staff. Risk manager, contingency funds. I recommend setting aside a significant portion of the budget for contingencies. Given the mission's high risk, we need flexibility to address unexpected challenges. Finance officer, reviewing allocations. Let's go through these allocations one by one and agree on the figures. Reviews each budget item in detail. We must balance our needs with the reality of our financial constraints. Communications expert, communications budget. We also need to allocate funds for secure communication equipment and backup systems. This is critical for mission coordination and security. Senator Organa, strategic perspective. As we finalize this budget, let's remember the strategic importance of this mission. We must be prudent, but also ensure our teams have everything they need to succeed. Project manager, final review and approval. Let's review this draft budget one last time. We need everyone's approval to ensure we're all aligned and committed to these figures. Finance officer, concluding the meeting. Thank you for your input. I'll circulate the final budget for your signatures. Let's remember, effective allocation of these funds is key to Operation Skyhook's success. This dialogue captures the essence of a budgeting meeting in a high-stakes environment, highlighting the balance between financial constraints and the critical needs of a complex and risky mission like Operation Skyhook. Schedule planning meeting. For Operation Skyhook, a schedule planning meeting would be a critical step to ensure timely and coordinated action. Here's a fictionalized dialogue for how this meeting might proceed. Project Manager, opening the meeting. Good morning, team. The focus today is on developing a comprehensive schedule for Operation Skyhook. Our success depends on precise timing and coordination, so let's identify our key milestones and deadlines. Strategic Planner, setting the framework. Let's begin by outlining the major phases of the mission: reconnaissance, infiltration, acquisition of the plans, and extraction. Each phase must be meticulously planned with clear deadlines. Intelligence Officer, reconnaissance phase. For the reconnaissance phase, we need to allocate time for gathering intel on the Imperial facility. I propose 2 weeks for complete data collection and analysis. Tactical Advisor, infiltration phase. Infiltration requires precision. After reconnaissance, we should allow a week for finalizing the infiltration strategy and another week for rehearsals and drills. Logistics Coordinator, resource preparation. We must also consider the time needed for assembling and preparing our resources, including equipment and personnel readiness. I suggest a buffer period of 1 week before the infiltration. Communications Expert, communication setup. We'll need time to establish secure communication channels and test them. Let's allocate 3 days post-reconnaissance for this. Risk Manager, contingency planning. Let's also set aside time for developing and reviewing our contingency plans. I recommend dedicating a few days after the finalization of the primary plan. Project Manager, reviewing and integrating plans. All right, let's integrate these timelines. Goes through each phase, aligning schedules. Remember, these deadlines are not just guidelines, they're crucial for the mission's cohesive execution. Senator Organa, emphasizing importance. As we finalize the schedule, let's be mindful of its significance. The timing of each action can have far-reaching consequences. We need to be agile yet precise. Project Manager, concluding the meeting. Thank you, everyone. I'll consolidate this into a master schedule and circulate it for final review. Let's commit to these timelines with the understanding that flexibility may be required as the mission unfolds. This dialogue illustrates the strategic and collaborative effort in planning the schedule for a complex and high-stakes mission like Operation Skyhook, emphasizing the importance of timing, coordination, and the integration of various mission components. Quality Planning Meeting. In the context of Operation Skyhook, a quality planning meeting would focus on establishing high standards for all aspects of the mission to ensure its success. Here's how the dialogue might unfold in this scenario. Quality Manager, opening the meeting. Welcome, team. Today we are here to define and agree upon the quality standards for Operation Skyhook. Every aspect of this mission, from intelligence gathering to the final extraction, must meet the highest standards to ensure success. Intelligence Officer on intelligence quality. For intelligence, quality means accuracy and timeliness. We must have reliable information about the Imperial facility's defenses and layout. I propose regular validation checks of our intel against multiple sources. Tactical Advisor, quality and tactical execution. In terms of tactics, quality equates to precision and effectiveness. Our strategies should be rehearsed and reviewed extensively. I suggest incorporating simulations to test and refine our tactics. Tech Specialist on equipment quality. The quality of our equipment is vital. This includes regular maintenance checks and ensuring all tech is up to date and fully functional. We can set up a system for pre-mission checks and immediate troubleshooting. Risk Manager, quality and risk management. From a risk management perspective, quality means thoroughness in identifying and preparing for potential threats. We should have a detailed risk assessment and mitigation plan that is continuously updated. Logistics Coordinator on resource quality. We must also maintain quality in our resource allocation, ensuring that all resources are utilized effectively and efficiently. This includes monitoring the distribution and usage of supplies. Communications Expert on communication quality. Quality in communication is about clarity, security, and reliability. We need to establish protocols for clear and encrypted communications and test them regularly for integrity. Project Manager, integrating quality standards. Excellent points, everyone. We'll integrate these quality standards into every phase of the mission. Let's document these standards and the methods we'll use to achieve and measure them. Senator Organa, emphasizing the importance of quality. Remember, the quality of our work on this mission can have far-reaching effects on our fight against the Empire. Let's uphold these standards not just for the success of this operation, but as a testament to our commitment to our cause. Quality Manager, concluding the meeting. Thank you for your inputs. I will compile our quality standards and circulate them for review. Let's each commit to these standards to ensure the success of Operation Skyhook. In this meeting, the dialogue reflects a comprehensive approach to ensuring quality in various aspects of the mission, crucial for the success of such a high-stakes operation. Stakeholder Engagement Planning Meeting. In the context of Operation Skyhook, a stakeholder engagement planning meeting would be crucial to ensure that all parties involved are properly informed, aligned, and motivated. Here's a fictionalized dialogue for such a meeting. Communications Director opening the meeting. Welcome, everyone. Today we're focusing on our strategy for engaging stakeholders throughout Operation Skyhook. Our stakeholders include not just our teams and command structure, but also allied forces, supportive planetary systems, and potentially sympathetic Imperial insiders. Senator Organa, identifying key stakeholders. Let's begin by identifying our primary stakeholders. These include the Rebel Alliance leadership, squadron commanders, ground forces leaders, and our allies across different systems who provide resources and intelligence. Project Manager, discussing engagement objectives. Our engagement objectives should be clear communication of mission updates, solicitation of feedback, and ensuring ongoing support. We must establish trust and transparency, even when facing setbacks. Intelligence officer, sensitive information handling. We need a balanced approach for sharing sensitive information. While transparency is important, we must protect critical mission details. Let's classify information levels and determine what can be shared with each stakeholder group. Public relations officer, public messaging. For our broader base and external allies, we need to craft messages that motivate and inform without revealing tactical details. This includes highlighting our mission's importance and the values we stand for. Tech specialist, utilizing technology for engagement. We can use secure communication channels for updates. For broader stakeholders, HoloNet broadcasts and encrypted dispatches can be effective. We should also have a protocol for emergency communications. Logistics coordinator, engagement through resource needs. Our engagement strategy should include updating stakeholders on resource needs and allocations. Their support in logistics is vital, and keeping them informed will encourage continued assistance. Risk manager, engaging around risks and challenges. We must be transparent about the risks and potential challenges we face. Engaging stakeholders on these points can help in garnering support and preparing for contingencies. Communications director, finalizing the engagement plan. Based on this discussion, I'll draft our stakeholder engagement plan. It will outline how we communicate with each group, the frequency of updates, and the type of information shared. Senator Organa, concluding remarks. Remember, each stakeholder plays a crucial role in the success of Operation Skyhook. Effective engagement is key to maintaining a unified front against the Empire. Let's proceed with a strategy that ensures alignment and support across all fronts. This dialogue demonstrates the importance of strategic communication and relationship management with various stakeholders in a complex operation, ensuring that everyone involved is appropriately informed and engaged. Communication planning meeting. In the context of Operation Skyhook, a communication planning meeting would be vital to ensure that all team members are consistently and accurately informed. Here's a fictionalized dialogue for such a meeting. Communications director opening the meeting. Welcome, everyone. The success of Operation Skyhook heavily relies on our ability to communicate effectively. Today, we need to establish a clear communication plan detailing how we will disseminate information within the team and to our external allies. Project manager, setting communication objectives. Let's start with our key communication objectives, ensuring timely updates, maintaining operational security, and ensuring clarity and understanding among all team members and stakeholders. Tech specialist, discussing communication methods. For internal communications, we should utilize encrypted channels. This includes secure holo transmissions for updates and briefings, and encrypted comms for field operations. Intelligence officer, frequency of updates. We need regular updates on intelligence findings. I propose daily briefings for the core team, and more comprehensive weekly updates for broader stakeholder groups. Logistics coordinator, on supply and resource communication. Regarding logistics, we should have a real-time reporting system. This will help us track resource allocation and address any supply chain issues promptly. Risk manager, communicating risks and contingencies. It's crucial to have a protocol for communicating risks. If a high-risk situation arises, we need an immediate and structured response, communicated clearly to all relevant parties. Public relations officer, external communications. For external communications, especially with allied systems and potential sympathizers, we need a different approach. Our messaging should be motivational but carefully devoid of sensitive operational details. Communications director, identifying key communication points. We must identify key communication points throughout the mission. This includes pre-mission briefings, post-mission debriefings, and checkpoints during the operation where critical updates are provided. Senator Organa, ensuring message consistency. We must also ensure consistency in our messaging. This is vital to maintain confidence and unity among our allies and within the Rebel Alliance. Communications director, concluding the meeting. Thank you for the input. I'll draft a communication plan that incorporates these elements. It will outline our methods, frequency, and key points of communication, ensuring we're all aligned and informed throughout Operation Skyhook. This dialogue reflects the strategic planning involved in ensuring robust and secure communications for a complex and sensitive mission, highlighting the importance of operational security, clarity, and timely dissemination of information. Procurement planning. In the context of Operation Skyhook, a procurement planning meeting would focus on planning and coordinating the acquisition of all necessary resources and equipment for the mission. This would involve discussions on sourcing, timelines, budget constraints, and logistical challenges. Here's a fictionalized dialogue for such a meeting. Logistics coordinator opening the meeting. Thank you for joining. Today, we need to finalize our procurement plan for Operation Skyhook. Our goal is to ensure that we have all necessary resources and equipment, from starfighters to reconnaissance tools, without compromising our operational security. Finance officer, budget constraints. Let's start with our budget. We have limited funds, so we need to prioritize our procurement list. Critical items should be at the top, including anything unique or custom that we can't easily acquire. Tech specialist, technical equipment needs. For technical equipment, including communication devices and surveillance tools, we might need to look at specialized suppliers. Some items may require discrete procurement to avoid drawing attention. Intelligence officer, sourcing information. We have contacts on several planets who can discreetly provide equipment and resources. However, We need to vet these sources thoroughly to avoid imperial traps. Risk manager, risk assessment, and procurement. We should assess risks associated with each procurement source. This includes the potential for interception, supplier reliability, and the risk of leaks. Tactical advisor, equipment for ground operations. For ground operations, we'll need a range of equipment from weaponry to stealth gear. We should also consider the time needed for training with any new equipment. Logistics coordinator, timelines, and delivery. Let's establish a timeline for procurement and delivery. We need everything in place well before we initiate the operation to allow time for testing and training. Project manager, vendor relations, and contracts. We'll need to manage vendor relations carefully. Contracts should be clear but flexible, allowing us to adapt as the mission requirements evolve. Communications director, securing communication lines. Ensuring secure lines of communication with our suppliers is critical. We can't afford any leaks or interceptions. Logistics coordinator, concluding the meeting. I'll compile a procurement list based on our discussion and circulate it for final approval. Remember, discretion is key in our procurement process. Let's proceed with caution and precision. This dialogue captures the key elements of procurement planning for a complex mission like Operation Skyhook, highlighting the importance of strategic sourcing, risk management, and careful coordination to ensure the successful acquisition of necessary resources.